This week I'm away from home, away from my tools and my workshop and my clay and my kilns. I'm visiting some friends in the south of Denmark, a beautiful small island called Fejø. But I'm still gonna do something related to pottery. I'm gonna collect plants, weeds, seaweed, combustibles for Pitfire. Now I'm on my way down to the beach. It's only a few minutes away from the house that I'm staying in. What I like about the beach is that you have all kinds of very interesting combustibles there. Basically, when you are doing Pitfire, you can use any kind of plants, any kind of combustibles. They all have carbon, but different plants have also different kinds of chemicals that is released when it's heated up in the pit. But what is nice about the sea, this is open sea, is that the weeds out there and the plants that are growing close to the shore, they absorb so much salt. And salt is just great in a pit fire. We use salt combined also with colorants like carbonates and oxides. It kind of increases the fumes. But with these materials like seaweed, you have that combination of the carbon and whatever chemicals are in the seaweed plus the salt, and it just increase and improve the colors very much. So today I'm gonna collect some seaweed, and I'm gonna collect some other plants that grows close to the shore. And I also noticed the other day there's tons of feathers. I think it's seagulls or something, very big feathers. And I think we can use that for some of the pit firing, and of course we can use it for raku as well. So let's take a look and see what we can find. I noticed on this beach that there's at least two different kinds of weed. There's this I don't know what it's actually called, but these long strings of seaweed, and then we have these other kinds which have these bubbly kind of things here. Oh, it sounds really nice when you do it. And so they're filled with air, and they're very different from the other ones. I'm not actually sure if they're connected somehow, but they're distinctly different. And then also, as I told you, there's a lot of feathers. There's actually a small one. Some of them are bigger. This one is a little bit bigger. They're very nice, and definitely worth collecting. You can see that we have lots of them here. And I'm definitely gonna collect some of these. That would be nice for. I know that they work well for raku, but I will try and put them into some of the sagas in my Pitfire and see how that goes. It should work well. Up here we have, on the upper part of the beach, lots of this seaweed. I'm just gonna put them here. A lot of this seaweed is already dried, and it's kind of not connected anymore. It's more like a dust, but still I think this will work really well to put inside a saga. I use a tinfoil saga for most of my firings. I think this will be really good. So I'm gonna collect some of that. The nice thing about the dried pieces, of course, is that it's much easier to just bag it here and take home. Otherwise I would probably leave it out in the sun and then let it dry there. So see, this is full of salt. There's also some sand in here. I'm sure it's going to be fine anyway. So most of what is here is this long threaded seaweed. I'm not actually sure what it's called, but collected quite a big bag of that. Now I'm gonna try and find some of the bubbly seaweed. Again, I have no idea what it's called. Unfortunately, the bubbled seaweed is not dried. It's I don't know why I couldn't find any of it further up the beach. So oh, here's some. It's just easier if you pick at the dried ones. Yeah, otherwise you just have to take this, bag it, and we can dry it when we get home. On the beach is also growing a number of plants. I have no idea what they're called, but there's these bushy kind of things that grows just a little bit up from the beach, and then you have these weeds. I'm not even sure what they're called, but beside the fact that they of course is a combustible, they have carbon in it. All organic materials have carbon in it. Then I'm also pretty sure, because they grow here, that they contain more salt than plants usually will. I mean, they survive here partly by seawater, and at least the seawater is rolling up here now and then. So I'm guessing that there's a lot of salt in that. So I'm gonna collect some of that. I have no idea what it will look like, but it will probably be pretty. There's also some other plants like this one growing in here, and again I have no idea what it is, but because it's growing here so close to the water, and the water sometimes run in on this, I'm sure they must contain more salt than most other plants. And I like salt in my Pitfire. See, this looks good. This is a bit of a different kind. It's growing up just a little higher on the hill, but still close enough to the water to most likely have lots of salt in it. I'm also going to pick some of that, because what I found is that for different plants, besides the combustibles, besides the carbon, and sometimes the salt if it's close to the sea, there's also other materials, other chemicals that is released during the fire and that produce different colors. For example, in banana peels and coffee grounds, there's potassium, which gives some interesting colors, and in peels and other kind of combustibles there are other chemicals, and they all create different colors. And I mean, even after doing a lot of pit fires, I'm not completely sure what the different colors are, but they do give a nice variation, and it usually looks beautiful. So I'm gonna wrap up some of these as well. All the plants that are growing close to the sea, like these ones, and this one, I don't know what it's called, but all these plants, they are influenced by the salt from the seawater. Of course, the seaweed will have more salt than these plants, but still, because they grow so close to the ocean, I'm assuming that they will have absorbed some salt. And so I'm gonna pick some of these too and see what that's gonna look like in the pit fire. Now I'm on my way home from a wonderful week at Fejø, one of these small, beautiful islands in Denmark. And I think there is actually about 500 islands like this in Denmark, some of them very small, some of them a little bit bigger. but they're all beautiful. So if you ever come to Denmark, I very much encourage you to stop by these islands. Some of them have bridges, some of them have ferries, but please go there. There are lots of great things to see. I collected a few bags of local plants, lots of seaweed, different kinds of seaweed, and basically I was looking mostly for plants in the sea area here, which of course there's lots because it's an island. So when I get home, I will dry it up and I will then get it ready for my next Pitfire. So if you want to see that, please subscribe, like, comment, whatever. If you have any questions, you're very welcome to comment. I'll try and answer anything I can. And come back and see how I'm going to use all these new combustibles in my next Pitfire. So have a great summer.